YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy APFC back again for another video today. We are going to be discussing Bukayo Saka, the man on everyone's lips at the moment, our best, well, probably our most improved player or most unexpected performer this season. He has gone from a relatively unknown player to one of the first names on the team sheet in a position that he's not overly familiar with. Obviously, he has had to step in at left back with times with long-term injuries to Kieran Tierney and injuries to Sead Kolasinac, who Sead Kolasinac is now back in the line, not in the lineup, but in the squad for Arsenal, pushing for that spot in the lineup, but is now losing out to an 18-year-old who predominantly plays left wing rather than left back. Says a lot for a young kid such as Saka to keep out a former German best left back of the season. Pretty much says all you need to know about this kid's ability. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk in the media lately suggesting that potentially his future lies elsewhere. He's currently got 18 months left on his contract, and there's a lot of other clubs sniffing around. Rumoured to be Liverpool. Man United are also monitoring his contract situation at the moment. And fair enough too, for a player that only has 18 months left and is currently on £3,000 a week, which for footballers, not for normal people, but for footballers, it's peanuts in the scheme of things. And obviously clubs are snipping around because he's a player that's sort of come into the team. You know, Emery was the player that ultimately brought him in the first place. I think the game that really stuck to mind, it's sort of everyone started talking about Saka was that Man United game. He came in as left wing, had an absolutely boss performance. Obviously, his debut for us was off the bench against Villa in the Premier League. He came on in the 45th minute, I think it was. Or was it the 45th minute he came on? No, sorry, he got taken off. My apologies. He got taken off after 45 minutes. And then after that, he played against Man United and ended up getting assist to that game and was one of our more outstanding performers. That is when everyone started to talk about him. He had some performances in the Europa League, which are very positive as well. He came to light when he scored an absolute cracker against Frankfurt and got another 2 assists for that game. He also got a goal and an assist against Standard Liège in our last game of the group stage away from home, which means that with all these assists that he has gotten, he also got one in the FA Cup, and he's also got another one in the EFL Cup, means that he is now our highest assist maker of a season from an 18-year-old playing at left back most of his season at Arsenal, which pretty much says everything you need to know about why Arsenal must keep Bukayo Saka. We've got a lot of promising young players coming through at the moment. Obviously, everyone's been talking about Martinelli. Now Saka's getting some rightfully deserved praise. We've got lots of other quality coming through. And we've had a lot of quality come through in the past that haven't really come to fruition, but this is a massive opportunity. And with Saka, I generally see his ability in the scheme of some of our younger players that have come through in the past, such as Iwobi, Ramsey, Walcott, Oxlade-Chamberlain. I see Saka as probably one of the most talented players that we have had based on the ability for us. So I wanted to do a video for you guys today, basically sort of sussing out what the situation with Saka. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? This is what's happened. So there has been a lot of news that has come out recently about Bukayo Saka. And I'll go through basically the article because there's been a couple of articles. The one that I'm going off is off Football London. Big up Football London for putting this article together. But basically what they're saying is Saka was asked about the contract situation after the game against Newcastle. And he goes on to say, sorry, just give me one sec here. He goes on to say, that question is for my agent. They're sorting it out. Of course, I'm enjoying my football, enjoying playing under the new coach. So we'll see what happens. I'm really enjoying football under my new manager. It's not my natural position, but he's given me all the advice that I need. I've got Granite behind, David, as in David Luiz, supporting me and speaking to me. So it gives me license to go out and express myself in the final third and what I can do. Now, what allows him to express himself more is sort of how he's set up. He has Granit Xhaka playing almost as a left back when Saka pushes forward. Saka pushes forward into that wing role, which allows Aubameyang to push a little bit more centrally. Obviously, I've always agreed with having Aubameyang through the middle. Arteta hasn't done that. Emery hasn't done that as well. But at the same time, we are making it work in the scheme of things because we are able to get Saka more in the game, and ultimately, he's got 7 assists this season, which is the most out of any of our players this season. I'll keep going through the article. I learned a lot about how wingers in the Premier League play against defenders and how to position myself because in his system, it's different. I get to play much higher because the winger comes inside and I get to go forward. There's a lot of space for me and it's good for me. What I like about what Saka is saying is that when he's coming out in a post-match press conference saying, I've learned a lot about wingers in the Premier League, how they play against defenders and how to position myself, sort of shows that he is really actively the type of player that is constantly looking to improve himself. He could have easily come out in the post-match press conference and just say all the standard things, but the fact that he is opening up about the fact that he's really trying to learn the position really shows the dedication that he has in looking to break into the first team. There's no necessarily ego there. Obviously, he's one of our most talented players, if not our most talented players. You could argue some players with that talent in that situation would say I'd be preferring to play on the wing and whatnot. But at the same time, he's not saying that, and he's saying that he is looking to actively improve himself so he can get that position in the starting lineup, which he is now doing so because he has not only kept keeping Kolasinac out of the team whilst he's been injured, but all up this season, he has played 16 games in the Premier League out of 25 that we've played, or 26, which, let's be real, at the beginning of the season when we saw Saka maybe on the bench a little bit more, we probably think this guy would get 6 of our Europa League games, 6 to 8 games perhaps, and then in the Premier League he'd come off the bench, probably get 3 to 4 to 5 appearances. He's got 16, and that just sort of shows the ability and the faith that the managers have had in him, not just Arteta, but also Emery, put Saka in at a time where our performances were slipping a little bit and we weren't getting a lot down the left-hand side. So he also then goes on to say, I am playing sort of as a winger when we have the ball, but without the ball I have to come back and work on my clearances. This is basically referring to how Xhaka holds and Saka pushes forward when we have the ball, hence why we are so dominant down the left-hand side, allowing Aubameyang to come in. Without the ball, I have to come back and work on my clearances. My heading and stuff I haven't worked on my whole life. I feel like I'm doing okay right now. Many players in no situation could say, I'm doing very, very well. I'm happy with how I'm going. Just sort of shows the mentality and improvement that he's really looking to get, at this stage in his Arsenal career. I feel like my dream was always to be a winger, to affect games, to score goals and get assists. For now, I'll do the job the manager asked me to. Pretty much says everything you need to know about his attitude. And let's be real, the way that we are set up, it's not like down the right-hand side where you can very clearly see Bellerin playing as a more defensive player and Pepe doing most of the attacking work. You rarely see Bellerin overlap, let's be real. But how we're setting up down the left, with Xhaka coming a little bit more to the left-hand side, and then Saka giving room for Saka to push forward. I think Saka, what he's sort of done in the last few games is he's really grasped that sort of tactic that we're looking to do. I think he's really got a bit more of an understanding of what sort of runs to make. You could see, particularly in the second half after he got that assist, how much confidence he had. There was one moment in the second half where he was just looking to take on pretty much the whole team and beat 3 or 4 players, just running at them with pace. And that's the sort of confidence that we want to see from young players. We've seen that from Martinelli, how very easily he's come into the team and adjusted and show the confidence that he's shown. We need to see that from lots of other young players to set the precedent if other young players come into the side. So, yeah, we are now seeing that with him. And what I really noticed is that after that Newcastle game, he really pushed forward and he was just looking to take players on after he got that absolutely filthy assist that he got. And the talk is that he has hinted that his future lies at Arsenal because he's pretty much saying they're sorting it out in reference to the contract, and he didn't really mention any other teams coming into play. He is an Arsenal boy and through. He's come from the youth team. He's played for the under-23s. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I think he does want to stay. Obviously, if a club like Liverpool comes in and offers him, it's going to be hard to say no based on the fact that they are the European champions and soon to be Premier League champions, best team in the world. But I just think that that's probably another contract renewal away. You might hear more of that once he stays at Arsenal, and then he's renewing his contract at 22, 23 perhaps. But for now, I think he is going to stay. And let's be real, if we really want to progress as a club based on some of the absolute monumental fuck ups that we've done with contracts, this is one that we cannot afford to get wrong. Saka is the future. Martinelli is the future. We need to keep these players and build a team around them because they are potential world-class qualities. I would have said about Saka before. I initially said after, because he started off coming into the team against Villa. He had a very good game against United, Bournemouth, and then Sheffield. He was okay, but he sort of started to sort of slip off and was sort of a little bit more out of form after that. Obviously natural for a young player. But what I've noticed with him is that he's come back very, very strong, and he's been able to sort of take that sort of position his own as left back and run with it. Because let's be real, any opportunity that he can get at the moment, he will have to take if he wants to really establish himself in the starting lineup. His last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games have been with us for left back, with the first one coming against City, bit of a baptism of fire. But against Everton, Bournemouth, Chelsea, United, he all played as left back, and then he played against Palace he was on the bench, against Palace, but then he played Sheffield, Chelsea again, Burnley, ultimately Newcastle at left back. And I think based on the fact that, we are starting to see a lot more of an attacking dynamic with the Arsenal side. Yes, it's only been one game, but we can see more of the ideas of Arteta coming to fruition. Saka will be a big part of that, and he's a big part of our future. So that's all I really have time for today, guys. Just wanted to do a quick video on him and how Saka is hinting that his future is lying at Arsenal. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment, subscribe, like my video. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated. Do keep your eyes peeled for videos that I'm doing. I'm doing one tomorrow of a preview against Olympiacos. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Have a great day, guys.